We're talking about the creative process, and you two, Gideon and Richard, are in the middle of the creative process for your latest work, Assembly. Gideon, does your work begin with a seed or a shred of an idea and grow from there, or does it come to you fully formed as a vision that you feel compelled to realise?
I often say to people I'm going to be working with, I have some fragments for an idea. Rarely experienced a time where I've been inspired and things come together. I find making works, it's just a progression of seeing things in life and experiencing things and collecting little ideas, and what happens is that little bits from one place start to talk to another, and once that dialogue begins to happen with different forms, then I feel like I have something of an idea that's coming into place.
But why you can choose anyone, preferably someone you don't know.
Richard, your natural milieu is orchestral music, opera, and here you find yourself in a contemporary dance milieu. So how important is it to push yourself out of a comfort zone?
Well, I think it's the way you grow as an artist to accept the idea that a comfort zone is precisely that. So when Gideon came and spoke to me and said he'd like to collaborate, I was shocked, to be perfectly frank. Why? And then I thought, well, I really would love to do something with contemporary dance. And not just because it's an opera company working with contemporary dance, but something new is happening. We're making a new work. And then I found it really inspiring when Gideon said he didn't want there to be no technology, no instruments, very little lighting, almost no costuming, and all the music had to be unaccompanied. For me, it's been starting all over again, working with dancers and watching dancers make new work, and also bringing the youth opera as part of this into that, so they can see how dancers work from nothing, starting from nothing and making a piece. Because all of these kids are the regenerators, if you like. They get a piece of music, they learn it and sing it. So my view is they're getting an enormous amount, and the same as I am getting from watching this process evolve.
So Gideon, the collaboration is obviously really interesting for Richard from a musical point of view. Choreographically, what is the partnership doing for you as a choreographer?
I think when you work with people with no dance training, I think it sorts out what are the possibilities quickly, but also what tends to work well and not so well. So, if you're working on movement that you can relate to the outside world, or people can identify with and not necessarily feel comfortable with, but understand it from their own experience, those things work well. And it forces you to talk about movement and talk about choreography, not as about a series of remembered shapes, but about intention of what's going on. And these singers, once they understand what the intention is, it's so much easier for them to do it. In fact, it just flows from them. And it actually has changed the nature of what I'm doing. So really simple things like melting down a staircase, running, walking, marching, creating cannons that one person influences the other and copying, begin to become the material of this piece. You feel a part of it very easily.
How do you continue to grow as artists?
Well, I'm going to become a contemporary dancer. I'm built for that. I think when you say being involved in what we do means growth. It doesn't stop. I'm thinking about things I would like to do that I would not have thought about had this project not happened.
Fantastic.
So what has opened up for me is possibilities. And I promise I won't become a contemporary dancer, Gideon.
No, I think you'd be a very interesting one. I had aspirations to be a scientist when I was younger, and I changed my direction to be a dancer and then to be a choreographer. But in some ways, I think my works, to me personally, are still a kind of a research. They are kind of looking for answers to problems or situation, and whether it be the human condition or whether it be ideas of forms. Those interests, I think, for me, just generate new projects all the time.
When do you feel that the work that you're making is complete?
My process of making work is you make some of it, but a lot of it's finding it. And so I'm actually trying to find it in the people and in the piece itself. And I think once it's mostly found, then that's it.
Gideon loves to rehearse, and I love to rehearse. We like to rehearse different things in different circumstances. So I'm very aware that this is a dance work, and therefore there is a pecking order, and I'm very happy with that. That's not an issue. So I'm getting plenty of time to rehearse and plenty of time to do things, but there's always something you could do that you could refine and think, oh, I would change that if I were doing this. And even from performance to performance.
What is it about this vast land that breeds such innovation? Innovation in the arts. Innovation in the home. Today, kitchens everywhere have a Zip Hydro tap. Boiling and chilled, filtered water instantly. Australian innovation and design. Zip Hydro tap, used by millions around the world each day.